Good evening all, hope you're well. Harden here, back with another video after a very long break. To be honest, I've been quite disillusioned with the game, haven't been playing that much. There's a combination of the game itself and also my real life has been very busy, which means that I haven't actually had that much time to play. I haven't been able to do that much. I have been continuing to grind my skills, but not much has really developed on other fronts. My fleet and my kind of main ISK earning is pretty much the same as it was, which is kind of basically grinding T10 missions in 0.0, which, as you can see, I've just cleared one here. As I said, I have been slowly working on my skills and kind of basically improving my setup. Those of you who follow the channel below know that I basically fly 3 Raven strikers. I haven't at this point decided to invest anything else in terms of any other kind of ships. I am actually subscribed for another 200 and something days as a result of the anniversary, spending stuff on the anniversary, but so I am continuing to play, but I'm hoping that NetEase will do something to kind of inspire me in this game, which unfortunately is sadly lacking. The latest thing is this Christmas event, and honestly, I haven't even been, it's interested me so little that I haven't even been bothered to watch Captain Benzi's video, 30-minute video to explain how it works. That's how little it's motivated me. It just seems like too confusing. It's not worth the time, especially considering I'm only able to play for an hour or so. Well, not even an hour or so a day at the moment. Anyway, I'll just give you a quick rundown on my current setup, and then I'm going to jump into a T10 mission just so you can see how things are working these days. Oh, that's the wrong thing there. I'll just show you my setup. Basically, I am now running large missiles on all of my Ravens. You can see here the DPS is 2500, that's the cold DPS. I have a shield booster, 2 shield hardeners, and then 3 damage mods. Because I've been improving my skills, the fact I can actually run my my ballistic controls pretty much constantly now, so I cycle one after the other. So basically, the ongoing DPS of this Raven is now 3100. I know that other ships like the Raven Striker, the Apox Striker, and so on, can get much higher DPS, but I don't think they hit with the same consistency as the Raven Striker. This really delivers very good damage. My mid slots are target painters and 1 web. Web is fairly useless because even without it, I find that the smaller ships, like the faster ships that come within range, they tend to die very quickly with the missiles anyway. 2 medium drones, and then I've got a large neutralizer. I actually have 1 of those on each of my 3 ships. The setup on all 3 ships is pretty much identical, apart from one of the ships I've actually got 2 webs and 1 target painter, and that's pretty much just because I haven't been bothered to change that yet. So that's the basic setup. The DPS on all 3 accounts now is fairly similar. I think my second account is slightly lower, and my third account is just again slightly lower because they haven't got the same kind of skills that I've put into this one. So again, I know this is not the most exciting content. I'm just going to quickly do a level 10 large mission, and you can kind of just large anomaly, and you can just see how quickly I chew through that. So if you hold on a second, I'll just go onto the missions page. There's a Carista's Large Anomaly here from a base, so that's what the one I'm going to go for. Fleet Command, Warp Fleet, and we'll head into that one now. I'm just going to put on my PvP overview just in case someone does jump in here. As I mentioned, with this little mini fleet I've got 3 large newts, so I'm not that worried about kind of individual kind of tackle. The missiles also tend to hit quite well. I've got the webs and target painters. So far, when I've had some reds jump in, like the occasional red, most of the time they've cleared out. So I haven't actually lost a Raven Striker now. I've been playing with them now for about, I'm not sure actually, maybe 2-3 months, ratting in 0.0, and so far I've not managed to lose this, despite the fact that I'm actually in the Silent Alliance and we're at war with GenFed. even their roams don't really kind of bother me that much. I have been trying to do a bit more on the PvP side. It's a bit difficult because my gameplay is so limited. So a normal CTA will take 2 to 3 hours, and normally I can only play for about half an hour to an hour in a burst. So I don't really get that much time to go on to CTAs. So anyway, I'm just locking up here, focus fire, put on my 2 target painters, put on one of my damage controls, and then what I do is I just orbit the wall pinpoint. Just with that does actually reduce a bit of damage. I'm just going to do the same now with my other 2 Raven strikers. Just get them set up now, so that's why you're not seeing anything happening on that screen. And then my 3rd one here as well. So, and my tactic generally is to hit the larger stuff, reduce the DPS as quickly as possible. With this setup, again, I'll just quickly go back onto the fittings page. So you can see on this ship, in terms of defense, I have 212,000 EHP, which is pretty nice. And in terms of my capacitor, it would run for 11 minutes. But in reality, I find that even running my shield booster pretty much constantly on these anomalies, I never actually drop below 50% in my capacitor. So, and again, that is at point blank range. That's up close and personal, basically killing stuff as quickly as possible. As you can see, my ballistic controls already cycled one time. That's one of the few challenges I have, is to remember to kind of keep sticking those on. And I'll just show you my DPS now with that running. As you can see, is 3,167, so nearly 3,200, and I have that on all 3 Raven strikers pretty much constantly in each of these anomalies. So you do kind of kill stuff fairly quickly. So I'm going to focus fire on that rogue. Just do the same on my other accounts. Focus fire. There we go. So just slowly hitting that, just make sure my other accounts are also orbiting, which they are. So really at this point, with my nanocores are just the standard purple nanocores. I've upgraded them to about 5, with about 5 bonus attributes on each of those. I haven't bothered to go any further because it's just ridiculously stupidly expensive. I am basically grinding the Concord Pass events just to fine-tune those. So for example, here you can see my missile damage is only 7.85, so I'm using those blue, I can't remember what they're called, those blue kind of modules to kind of re-gamble and re-roll those from time to time. I cannot be bothered to invest in any other kind of nanocores at the moment. As I said, this game has not been holding my attention too much recently. I've not been too impressed. As you can see, I've got a grey in local. He was reported earlier, but he's left, so I wasn't too worried, not too worried about that anyway. And anyway, we're going on to the next one now. Next wave is about to start. You can see with this setup, I am chewing through these waves pretty damn rapidly. I'm going to go for the rogue here, and then let's get my other 2 accounts on here. Again, because I've been running low on skills to train, I have done things like boost my targeting. As you can see, there's a lot of targets up there on the top. It helps speed up the locking time. Also gives you more choices when ratting in terms of what you want to prioritize. I'm still kind of skilling those up on my other accounts, but as you can see here, my ballistic controls, I am just cycling them one after another, give me a very meaty 3,167. As mentioned, I know there are other ships out there that do more damage, but I doubt they deliver the damage as consistently as the Raven striker at close range. And again, with the missiles, they do give you a little bit more chance against some of those. If you do end up having some PvP encounter and some dodgy guy coming in, they do tend to be a little more scary than some of the other kind of weapon types. So I'm quite happy with that. I stick with that. As mentioned, I am part of SHH, Silent Alliance. We have been in the war. Oh, we've got a red in local. I'm going to have to quickly check that out because there was a big gang roaming around earlier. Just make sure. Close that down. Let me just see who this is. That was a no gang. No, I'm not too worried about that guy. Okay, I'll leave it. Oh, there's 2 reds. Let's have a look. Okay, again, I'm going to take a chance. This video could go all very wrong, go badly wrong quickly, but at the moment I'm okay, quite relaxed with just a couple of reds in local. And let's put another damage. Might cycle my ballistic again. Let me just check who this guy is as well. Space cows. Yeah, one of them's left already, so it's possible they're just traveling through. Okay, onto the scorpion. Yeah, so again, I've been in silent. I'm not that not super active. I've tried to go on a few CTAs. I have a few PvP ships located here now. Some of my old Ravens that I was using for ratting previously. Have got into a few small fights here. But quite honestly, GenFed, who are our kind of main enemy at the moment, they don't really roam into this part of Declan that often, because really it's kind of very active around here. I found actually when I first joined Silent that we actually had a lot more problems with the Fireflies Alliance who lived nearby. They used to be roaming here all the time in kind of large fleets. They're kind of messing up your kind of ratting time. But GenFed don't really have that much impact. And I know in my corp anyway, a lot of the other pilots who are more PvP focused have been going down to GenFed space and shooting up their own outposts and kind of posers down there with quite a lot of success. So I kind of find it strange at the moment. There seems to be, if you're reading Reddit, you get this impression that Silent is on its kind of last knees, is about to fail Cascade, but actually as a line member I'm finding that there's actually less pressure now than there was when we were fighting Fireflies. So I think a lot of what's happening on Reddit right now is hype. Doesn't really impact the average member. Possibly it does in some of the other areas where Silent is not as established. I mean, for example, we only moved into Branch just prior to the GenFed war, so obviously GenFed and their allies have had kind of more scope there to do some damage, and obviously impacting some of the corps living there more than some of the kind of more central GenFed corps, Silent corps like ours. But anyway, as I said, I think that war's got a long time to run. There isn't really that, from my perspective, there isn't really that much threat at the moment as an average member, and certainly Fireflies were a lot more annoying in terms of kind of disrupting kind of ISK making than GenFed are. Apart from that, not really much to report. I'm just not super excited with the game at the moment and its direction. As I said, I'm subscribed for a long time, so I will continue playing as and when I have the chance. But I'm really hoping that NetEase do something to kind of spice things up soon, because as I said, I'm kind of thinking about whether it's actually worth investing more money into this game moving forward, and I don't really think that at the moment NetEase is doing anything to kind of inspire confidence in that score. So as you can see, I've got my shield booster running here. My ballistic controls are still cycling. My damage, as you can see, is still sitting at there nearly 3,200. No bother whatsoever at point blank range, just chewing through these anomalies. So if you had time, you could definitely be earning a huge amount of ISK doing this right now. I'm not, primarily because, as I said, I only have like about, after I get the kids to bed, before I get into the wife aggro zone, I probably only have about half an hour to an hour to play every evening. So I just don't have the opportunity to really grind as much as I would like. But again, I don't really feel that inspired to grind at the moment. I'm not particularly interested in carriers. I never was. I can see why they're in the game, and I can see why some people are interested in them, but it's not something that actually I was ever aspired to. So again, I'm not earning ISK for the carriers. In terms of the faction battleships, I've never actually purchased one. I've never really felt the need to purchase one. I'm quite happy with this little team of strikers. It kind of puts out similar sort of damage to a Macarial with, and if I lose it, it's not going to cost me cost me all that much to replace it. I've actually stacked up. Let me see. I don't know if I can see my insurance here. It's been a while since I've looked at this character insurance. Yeah, so you can see here I've actually stacked up around 40,000 IP through various events, through the anniversary and so on. Which is why I've actually been doing a little bit more PvP, because I could afford to lose some ships and it won't really impact me that much. But as I said, my time zone and the amount of gameplay, time zone is actually Asian time zone, means that I kind of miss a lot of the good fights that are going on at the moment between Silent and GenFed, which is a pity because I would like to be more involved in those, because they seem like quite a lot of fun, and I think everyone's having a lot of fun. As I said, the only thing that's kind of annoying is if you read Reddit, or at least before all the drama on Reddit the last few days, where we've got this new Reddit Echoes Eve that a lot of people are now migrating over to. Before all that drama, the Reddit forum was extremely one-sided, and as I said, if you were reading that, you get this impression that Silent was about to fail Cascade, which, to be honest, I've been in many alliances that have failed Cascaded, and you definitely don't get that kind of sense here with Silent. Even before we joined them, they've been fighting Fireflies in a very tough war for about a year, with no signs of buckling. So I think GenFed, who are actually having a much less kind of impact on the alliance, I don't think we're anywhere close to kind of folding, and I think this war is going to go on and on until GenFed or Silent decide that they're just bored with it. But we shall see. Maybe it will just continue in the same way that the Silent war did, until one side basically has enough of it. But again, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Anyway, we're almost, I think this is the last wave here. As I've been chatting, I haven't been kind of optimizing what I'm doing, so haven't really been paying that much attention. But again, okay, see, I've taken some shield damage there. So again, turn the shield booster on. You can see I've got 89% cap. No major worries here. And the same on my other ships. I mean, currently my second Raven is on about 99% shield. My third Raven is actually on full 100% shield. And again, in terms of cap, I think my third Raven is on 58, my second Raven is on 75, and as you can see, this one is on 84 currently. So you can definitely do these T10 encounters with this kind of setup pretty easily. And what I'll do is don't really bother with the loot that much these days, but I do tend to pick up the stuff that's really close to me. I am located in one of my corporation's ratting systems, so I do get a nice little bonus to my ratting bounties here of about 30%, which kind of nicely offsets some of the corporation tax, and the corporation also benefits from additional corporation tax as well. Again, because I'm flying with 3 other ships, the individual ticks are not that great, but they normally work out to about 8 million across 8 million in a bonus. It's about 10 million per tick across the 3 accounts, so it's about 30 million total per tick, which again, if I had the time, I could be grinding up an absolute fortune, but I don't really have that time these days. Okay, there we go. Going to loot that one, just everything that's in range. We're going to get the industrial wave in a second. Okay, so this is actually, just so you guys are aware, this is about 11:55 p.m, so almost midnight here in Asia, in my part of Asia anyway. So this is actually it's actually in playing time in Europe. Still pretty early for the US players, but as you can see here, not really being disturbed by any roams or anything like that. Still able to kind of just get on with earning some ISK without being disrupted by Gen or anything. Actually, there was a little bit of excitement earlier when I logged in. There was actually a roaming no fleet around of about 20 pilots. I didn't realize when I logged in and then got a warning in Alliance that there was 20 red guys in the system next door to me, which sent me into a little bit of panic because I was basically in the middle of a wave, and actually 2 of my accounts were scrambled, or sorry, 1 of my accounts was scrambled. I was like, oh shit, need to get unscrambled as quickly as possible, but luckily did that, and there was no kind of losses there. Okay, so we've got this red guy back in local. Let's take a look. I think this is one of the ones I looked at earlier. Candy corn, space cows. Yeah, not too worried about that guy. Can continue routing PC. Again, this is similar to basically with GenFed. You do get like individual pilots roaming around, but they're generally looking for miners when they actually come into a system with when they're basically AFK miners. They're looking for when they come into a system with people that are actually actively ratting, and in a gang they tend to go look elsewhere. They don't really disrupt things. Again, if you're a miner, then you have to pay a bit more attention. Okay, so that's that wave done, and this video is now at 20 minutes. I spent about 5 minutes talking at the beginning, so you can see there that T10 encounter took about 15 minutes to clear. I'm not sure what the bounty will be on that yet. Obviously I haven't got the tick. And then lots of grey loot, not worth that much. As I said, I do collect it because my corp has a buyback scheme, so I can sell all the grey loot onto them, which they then reprocess. Got some very good skills in the corporation for that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. It's actually pretty much my bedtime here anyway, but I just thought I'd give you an update on what I'm doing right now. As I said, it's not that exciting, nothing particularly new, but I know that some of you were following me. I do have some subscribers, so I do apologize that I haven't been putting content out, but again, haven't felt that motivated about putting content out, and there hasn't been that much interesting for me to share, so I don't want to kind of put crap out, which is kind of, as I said, this is not the most interesting video either, but as I said, some of you might be interested in just what I'm doing right now, so I thought I'd share this one as it's been a while. Anyway, good night all. Fly safe or don't fly safe, whatever suits you best, and I will see you around in New Eden at some point in the future. Take care. Bye.